Hola. Hi, Jessica.
¿Cómo
How are
están?
you? Hola, Scarf.
Hola,
¿Cómo
hello.
estás?
Hola, ¿cómo están todos? Pues
Súper.
esta vez, como Mel va en la siguiente hora vamos a tener un workshop. Esta vez nos tocó a nosotros aventarnos la misión de entrevistar a Jessica, The Real of 0x. Entonces vamos a empezar, y bueno, la pregunta obligada. We have a ritual question for you, Jessica, and it's, what fruit are you?
Oh, whoa, okay.
What
Let's
fruit do
jump
you
right in.
identify yourself with?
What do I identify with? Oh, that's a good question. I guess, do I identify with? I guess I enjoy mangoes, so maybe I'll
Yeah.
say mangoes.
I think mangoes is one of the most popular in the
Oh
community.
yeah, that's what people say a lot.
We
I
love
think,
Yeah.
mangoes.
growing up, we would go to Taiwan, and then they would specialize in mangoes, and I just remember as a kid, I loved them. Like they would be so big and so juicy, and the seed would be very small, and so it always
Yeah,
made me
I
happy.
love it.
Yeah, so I'll say
Yeah,
mangoes.
okay, ella ama el mango. Vamos a estar tratando de traducirlo conforme vamos haciendo las preguntas a Jessica. Y pues, adelante, Val,
Claro.
empieza
Pues
con las
bueno,
preguntas.
para quien no la conozca, Jessica es DevRel de 0x. Si usted es la primera vez que viene a una Frutero Talk, la intención de las Frutero Talk es conocer al humano detrás de los proyectos, su camino, cómo llegó a estar en estas posiciones y pues qué hace, qué le gusta, cómo empieza su viaje, ¿no? Como dice Scar, vamos a estar traduciendo español e inglés esta llamada. Entonces, pues bueno, arrancaré con la pregunta para Jessica. Jessica, I was just saying that Frutero Talks are focused on the human side of the people behind the projects. So after the mango question, we would like to ask you, who are you? Wait a minute, who are you?
How did I end up here?
Like what do you do? What's your background before Web3? How did you ended up in this community, in this project, doing DevRel as a big project, as 0x?
Yeah, good question. So I say my journey to 0x was kind of through a series of different experiences that connected together. So the way I got into Web3 was a couple jobs ago. I was working at a educational tech company called Udacity. So I started there teaching Android development, and then around the time of the 2017 bull run, I had a teammate who was like very excited about like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and just saw the future of it. And so she advocated to put together a blockchain developer program. And so I joined that team and started going down the rabbit hole of like learning like all about like smart contract development. What does it mean to build dApps in the space? So building content as a content educator was how I got into Web3. So I think that gave me the building blocks for working in developer relations, where a lot of it is, interacting with developers who are new to our product, and also be able to like teach them what it is that we offer, and then also getting to work day in and day out with code and with people is what I enjoy. So that's kind of in a nutshell how I ended up in this space.
Wow. Let me translate this real quick.
Okay. Okay.
Jessica dice, hace un par de trabajos yo estaba en un proyecto de educación tecnológica donde se empezó a hablar sobre Bitcoin, sobre cripto, sobre blockchain, y eso dice que tenía una amiga, que tenía una compañera que se empezó como a especializar en el tema y que ella como que empezó a seguir dice, el agujero de conejo, The Rabbit Hole, y empezó a involucrarse en estudiar cómo construir contratos inteligentes, cómo desarrollar aplicaciones utilizando la tecnología, etcétera, y que eso la fue llevando en un camino, pues, interesante de aprendizaje, que hoy en día le da los skills para interesarse en apoyar a los desarrolladores en una posición de DevRel. Ya. Scarf.
No, nice. And for those who don't know about 0x, in simple words, how do you explain the 0x protocol?
Good question. So I'd say we help make it easy to find tokens across the crypto space. So you can think of it like Google Flights, but for crypto trading. There's just so many different tokens, so many different chains. So instead of like having to go one by one to each DEX, we aggregate all of it. So like what Google Flights does. And so you can find all that information, find the best price through our one API. So I say Google Flights, but for crypto pricing.
I love it.
Cool. Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's a good point of view. I'm going to translate it. Jessica nos dice que es como cuando buscas tus vuelos, como el Google Flights, el Google Vuelos, pero para buscar tokens y hacer trades en blockchain. Eso es lo que 0x hace. Lo que hace es concentrar a todos los agregadores de liquidez del mercado para obtener el mejor precio y el mejor la mínima, o sea, que el swap sea lo mínimo de impacto posible a la hora de hacer nuestros swaps, ¿no? Y bueno, continuamos con otra pregunta. Y bueno, what problems 0x is trying to solve in the blockchain space?
Yeah, I think the way that we sum it up internally with our mission statement is to be able to eliminate the complexity of accessing tokens in the space. So yeah, that complexity comes in many different forms. So it can come from, on the one side, people who maybe are not smart contract engineers and they don't know how to tap into that side of things and be able to make transactions. It goes like another layer of it is like I mentioned, there's so many different pools of liquidity. So how does someone be able to look through all of that and then also find the best price? Like once you have all this information, how do you figure out like which pairs and what is the best route? So long story short is, we're eliminating that complexity by just offering like this one API, and we do all the work in the back end, do all the math, do all the searching for developers.
That's super cool.
Also the UX, it's too cool because before 0x you need to interact 2 times with your wallet, and right now you just sign and execute the swap in the same transaction, and that's too cool. But what do you can tell us about it? How do you do that? How do you create that product?
Oh, I see. Yeah, I think we're specifically referring like Matcha, right? So 0x, at the 0x side, we offer the API, so different projects can build on top of it. And so we have our own in-house DEX aggregator called Matcha. So you could, if you want to make a trade for a token, you go there, and what you're referring to is, we combine that. Typically, like when you're making a swap, you have the approval step and the swapping step. But to be able to consolidate that into one. So that comes from coupling those steps, like coupling that what the user is signing. So just thinking about like there's so many different steps already just to get on chain. How do we like start to minimize the user experience? So it's just like consolidation of those two signings.
Nice. I'm going to translate this. Ok, nosotros le estamos preguntando a a Jessica cuál es el problema que resuelve 0x. Ella nos comenta que tenemos en blockchain, de por sí es difícil, ¿no? De que creas tu wallet, guarda tus llaves. Ella nos comenta que encontrar el mejor precio, encontrar la mejor pool, encontrar digamos, o sea, el mejor agregador donde haya más liquidez, es un tema. Entonces, lo que ellos están haciendo es que con 0x están abstrayendo toda esta experiencia y la están haciendo en una sola API, que para nosotros como developers, pues para mí me voló la cabeza, y justo le preguntaba sobre algo que ellos crearon, que los que estamos como familiarizados con Web3 sabemos que primero tienes que aprobar los tokens que vas a gastar y después haces el swap. Entonces, lo que hace, bueno, después haces el intercambio, ¿no? Y lo que hace 0x es que en una misma transacción, tú solo interaccionas una vez con la blockchain y automáticamente apruebas y haces el swap en una misma transacción. Entonces, esto es algo de lo que ellos dijeron, o sea, hay que, bueno, al menos a mí me encantó, me encanta, por eso también decidimos que yo hosteara esto, porque estuve muy metido en eso y sí me sorprendió cómo ellos sí están diciendo, o sea, Web3, hagámoslo más sencillo, hagamos esto más fácil, y a mí me voló la cabeza cuando nada más tuve que picar una vez el botón y automáticamente se ejecutó el swap. Y la siguiente pregunta que tengo para ella es, que esta me surgió a mí muy personalmente, es que qué tipo de proyectos a ellos les gustaría ver, qué tipo de cosas quieren ver creadas en su ecosistema, y es lo que estoy a punto de preguntarle. Also, related to this, I want to know about what projects do you want to see to building with this API? What kind of, how do you see the projects that it's going to be on using 0x? What do you want to see? What if you have something ideas for developers? You know, what kind of projects do you want to see on your ecosystem?
Yeah, I'd say, I mean, I think the space is very broad, and I think what I like about like working at 0x is that, you know, this component of swapping can be plugged into so many things, because just to interact in the Web3 ecosystem, you have to swap. Like, you have to get the chain's token to be able to interact with it. Like, you have to swap at some level. So I guess the easy answer to your question is, like, I want every project to think about how can you incorporate swapping into your user flow. Like, why push a user to like go off to another site to make a swap and then come back? Like, is there a way to incorporate swapping like directly into the user flow? So I think, like, have developers start thinking at that level of how do we, again, make that whole process of interacting with Web3, especially for new users, just like make it all in-house, like not have to push them off to do other activities on other sites and then come back and then make some approval and then come back. It's like too much back and forth and context switching. So I think that's high level what I like to see. In terms of like concrete projects, I think these days we see a lot of, you know, typical like financial projects, right? With like DEXs, like liquidity providers, portfolio providers. I think that space is starting to narrow down. So I think the projects that have started a while back maybe have gotten more traction already. But I think I wanted to add that I think local communities is really important. So like thinking about how can you build a project that is local to what you see around your community. And so how can you take these components and be able to help the problems that you see specifically in your community? Because I think it's like easy to say, oh, this problem has been solved already by like there's 12 different types of these applications already. But I think really thinking like locally, and like how do we work with those local partners, whether it's like the local banking partners, if you're trying to like help with the like onboard on-ramp, off-ramp situation. So how do you like work with those like local providers there? How do you work with like the individuals in your community to help like create applications that are more localized to them. So I think I gave a very general answer, but it's more just like the thinking behind how to approach like swapping, so incorporating swapping, and then like thinking, be able to like look around your community, like maybe there is a problem that's solved by a bigger project already. So like even in Web 2, right, with like Uber, with like with like Uber, like they were able to have hold in a lot of different major markets. But then if we look at some like other local markets that they weren't able to tap into, like there were other players that were able to like work with the providers there, and build their own like large like empire. So I think what I'm trying to say is, yeah, so think locally, but also think about like what are these general practices that we see at a global scale, and how can you bring that locally?
That's super interesting, and I love it because you are playing at a DeFi space that generally, like the degen, like people say degenerative, right? Extractive. So most people using these kind of tools are thinking on extractive, or ways to make more magical money from the internet, which is actually making more problems. And I, and I love
More
that
confusion.
the main vision behind the DevRel of 0x, which is facilitating the swapping ecosystem, is to solve problems and to go local. And that's beautiful.
Thank you.
Translate real quick your answer, and
Thank you.
I'll ask the next question. Scarf le preguntó qué tipo de proyectos le gustaría a 0x que construyan con su tecnología. Y ella nos habla de que de que el ecosistema DeFi, los agregadores de liquidez, los protocolos de préstamos, todo esto que muchos ya conocen, son muy grandes y son muy generales. Y dice, bueno, pues a mí y a 0x lo que nos gustaría es ver que la gente utilice nuestra herramienta para solucionar problemas locales. Pone el ejemplo de Uber y dice, bueno, es que Uber es enorme, ¿no? Es un corporativo gigante, pero ¿qué pasaría si entran jugadores locales que pueden identificar problemas locales y pueden hacer alianzas con jugadores locales para solucionar problemas de la región? Y dice, bueno, es que a nosotros nos encantaría ver eso, nos encantaría ver que la gente utilice nuestra herramienta para solucionar problemas suyos, no para más esta imagen del protocolo gigante y multimillonario, ¿no? Sino soluciones reales. A lo que yo le respondí que me encanta porque el ecosistema DeFi se juega mucho esta onda del dinero mágico del Internet, que en realidad está generando más problemas, pero si desde 0x, que es una herramienta que facilita esto, se está trabajando una visión de solucionar cosas, pues se pueden solucionar cosas, ¿no? My next question, mi siguiente pregunta, is what kind of support would or is 0x giving to builders or hackers that want to try your tool? And for example, my community, Frutero Club, we have a lot of developers, but they would love. We actually have one comment right here from Sergio that says, "GM, nice greetings, Frutas. They approve and the send of tokens in one transaction. That's something that I would love to experiment." So we do have a lot of developers that are interested in implementing your API, right? What kind of support would 0x provide to the hackers or the builders building with your tool?
Yeah. I think for us, I think it's a lot about how do we offer that like responsive support. So like making sure as you're building, you have a smooth experience. So like helping you troubleshoot through those issues. Like we have a whole team that's covering all the time zones, helping make sure that as you're building, you have a really smooth experience. Like I know, as a dev, one of the most annoying things is like you're just building and then you're just like running into error after error, and you can't figure out why. So having that support, I think, is almost it's like invaluable. So having that, in addition to that, like that sort of support, providing credits for teams who are showing like that they are building projects that have good traction. So we have this program. It's called 0x Jumpstart. So for teams who are either early stage builders or teams that are part of accelerators and looking for support on the infrastructure side. So we have the opportunity to provide like increased rate limits, also like AWS credits. So providing like a cushion of credits and like that infrastructure capability. So as you're building and scaling out your project, you can continue to grow without like having to worry too much about that infra cost. So I think for us, it's like figuring out what exactly does each team and each developer need in different ways. So I think those are two ways. And then additionally, just like ongoing discussions with our builders to make sure that our products are fitting their needs. So like myself, project team, our business team are like constantly talking with our developers. So if you are building with us, we likely have a Telegram chat with you. If you don't already, please feel free to like contact. It's likely there's a guy in our team called Doom that has reached out to you. So make sure you schedule time with the team members who have reached out, because we really want to make sure that people building with us are getting that like close support and making sure like they are having a great experience building with us.
That's super appreciated. Thank you. Because as you said, being a developer working with an API and that you cannot find an answer or someone that's willing to answer you like, hey, I have an issue implementing this, like my code is throwing errors and the support team is not answering. That's really frustrating. And completely agree with you. And thank you as well for being like flexible with providing like different tools or rate limit or with the dev in your mind, right? Like, okay, you are a team, you're a small team, you cannot pay a lot, we can give you more rate limits. That's what I understand, correct?
Yeah, exactly. So like how can we exactly give them the ability to like use our API at a higher rate limit if they need it, if they're like building a project that has traction.
Okay, I'm going to translate or say something about my experience. Jessica nos está diciendo que el tipo de soporte que ellos nos dan, que yo lo he vivido, es que continuamente, o sea, si yo le escribí a Jessica en el Telegram, o sea, me imagino que aparte de estar súper ocupada, siempre me estuvo contestando, siempre me estuvo diciendo, oye, chécate el Permit 2, bájalo a Low Ones Holder, o sea, entonces hay como varias maneras de integrar 0x y estábamos continuamente viendo cómo integrarla. También siempre han estado al pendiente, o sea, el equipo es muy comprometido con las respuestas que le dan para integrar su API, y una de las cosas buenísimas es que directamente tú monetizas en la API. Entonces, esta es una manera súper buena de empezar con la API. Y pues más que nada eso, o sea, ella nos está comentando que siempre están dispuestos a resolver bugs, a resolver problemas, y yo constato que es real, o sea, sí, siempre estuvieron, si yo al día, pues ya sabes, ¿no? De que, oye, ya llevo, me aventé un fin de semana debugueando, y sí, justo, cuando yo les preguntaba hasta el fin de semana, decía, bueno, pues la pongo para el domingo para ver si el lunes, ¿no? Y no, o sea, sí me están contestando, y súper buena esa experiencia. Y bueno, voy a aprovechar para hacer una pregunta que tiene el público, solo que ya la perdí.
Antes rapidísimo, que esto también es importante. No sé si me trabé.
No, dale. Bueno, te
también
trabas tú,
menciona... El audio sigue. Ok. También otra cosa que menciona que es importante compartirles es que tienen mucha flexibilidad en cuanto a apoyo al desarrollador en cuanto a uso de su API. Que dice, bueno, pues si eres un dev que tiene un ritmo de uso muy alto, podemos llegar a un acuerdo también del costo, ¿no? Entonces, como que tienen esta flexibilidad de de que no te detenga construir con ellos el tema de los precios o el tema de que si el uso ya excedió la cantidad de API gratuito que tenías o etcétera, que siempre los puedes contactar y se pueden llegar a acuerdos, ¿no? Que eso es súper importante también recalcar porque es raro ver proveedores de servicios que están dispuestos a ayudar así, ¿no? A los desarrolladores. Cierro
Cool,
paréntesis. Dale, amigo Scarf.
Ya encontré la pregunta. Jessica, from the audience. Okay, this is the question. Does Zero X have plans to implement cybersecurity in its products?
I'm not exactly sure, like specifically what implementation I think Daniel is interested in, but maybe I can speak a bit to the security of our contracts. So yeah, the way Zero X works is the tokens are swapped through like a series of contracts. So we maintain one that's called the Zero X Settler contract. So that's one that our team has built out. It's gone through like 4 to 5 different audits by different agencies. In addition, in terms of the allowance setting, like we have also our own contract, so allowance holder contract, which has also gone through like a series of security audits. And then also we use a permit 2 contract. So this one is a pretty universal contract that was built by, I think, the Uniswap team. So it's been, if you look at like the number of transactions that have gone through, it's like just constantly getting used all the time. So it's like quite a battle-tested series of contracts that we use. So like on that side, that's primarily where if there is concern about security, like that's where you can be looking. And so all the contracts are public. If you just go to our docs, you can take a look through them there. And then, see, I had another point about the security side, but I don't remember off the top of my head.
A kind of bug bounty, stuff like this, do you have?
Sorry?
Like a bug bounty, stuff like this.
Oh, bounty, yes. Yeah, definitely. Yes, we have bounties for those contracts as well. I can quickly find the link for that.
Okay, while I'm translating for Daniel, ella nos está comentando que sí hay algo de ciberseguridad, pero no sabe como en qué enfoque decirlo, pero lo que sí comenta es que han hecho más de 4 auditorías, es lo que entendí, en los smart contracts, que están miren, ahorita les pasamos el link, nos está pasando un link de bug bounties, y que ellos están pasando también el smart contract de permit to, que es el que utilizan para hacer para enviar esta petición y solo en una ejecución hacer el swap, obteniendo los mejor precio del mercado y ahí mismo mandando la ejecución del swap, que este smart contract lo hizo Uniswap, me parece, lo entendí así, la de Unichain, y que continuamente, que todos los smart contracts que utilizan han pasado por más de una auditoría. Y también, yo después le pregunté si tienen algún tipo de bug bounty, o sea, para encontrar errores, para encontrar fallas en sus smart contracts, en sus protocolos, y nos comenta que sí. De hecho, aquí acaba de pasar el link para para esos hermanos que son degenerados de la ciberseguridad, que se metan a curiosear en el smart contract, que se metan a ver cómo es. Y pues esto es lo que nos está comentando Jessica, que está sucediendo en 0x. Si no sé si se me pasó algo, ¿vale? De lo que dijo Jessica.
No, muy correcto. O sea que sí tienen mecanismos de seguridad, han corrido varias auditorías. Y tu pregunta de si tienen premios para encontrar bugs en sus contratos, nos dice que sí. De hecho, aquí ya el canal de Frutero TV ya compartió el link. 0x.org Docs Developer Resources Bounties. Y bueno, también nos mandó este enlace Read About the Contracts para que la banda curiosa se meta. Pero sí, correcto,
buenísimo,
amigo.
Okay, bueno, thank you, Jessica, for answer for Daniel's question. And I'm going to ask you about, can you share some successful use case, about the matcha? I was reading that MetaMask is integrated 0x on their user experience. What do you can tell us about it?
Yeah. Yes, in terms of success stories, I'd say if you think of a big name wallet, it's likely we are powering their swaps. So that's really cool. So, I have like a bunch of wallets on my tabs just because I'm testing them all the time. So I can just, if you see like MetaMask, Phantom, Rabby, Trust Wallet, Rainbow, Zerion, I think there's probably even more that I'm missing, but so there's all sorts of wallets where we are the swapping provider. So if you're making a swap in those wallets, we'll be helping power that swap there. Like another interesting story was Robinhood. So when we first released our gasless product, they were our first partner. So within the Robinhood wallet, users there were able to experience trading gaslessly for the first time, and this was like several years ago. So that was pretty key for us to have that big of a partner launching that product. And then, to your point about Matcha, yes. So Matcha is again our DEX aggregator that 0x built, and so they are like our key building partner. So like if they have interesting use cases for 0x, like that cycles back in. Like I'll take learnings from their engineers and put that into our examples. And then we actually have a spin-off that came off of that. So there's a new product we have called Matcha Meta. So it's in open beta right now. So it's a meta ag. If you take a look at the website, like what it does is it aggregates from a lot of different, wait one second. It aggregates from a lot of different aggregators. So, 0x is not the only aggregator out there. But what we found is that we wanted to show that our pricing and execution quality is like honest and also like top quality. And so the way that we do that is like literally, if you're making a swap, we show you all the different prices that everyone else offers. And we simulate all those quotes. So we want to make sure like, at the end of the day, what do you actually get in your wallet? And we show you that information just like right out in the open. So I would say take a look at Matcha Meta. So that's a really cool product. I can share the link down below. And then also, just a lot of AI projects as well. Like a couple months ago, AI was starting to get really hot. And then like AI and crypto, that marriage definitely came together. So we had a lot of projects come out that were using 0x. So there's like Eliza OS. So that's more on the dev tooling side, uses 0x. BankerBot, this project called Moxie. So there's and then actually even like Coinbase within their like swap projects, swap dev tooling uses 0x. So I think like 0x is kind of like that invisible layer that's like behind a lot of different tools and different consumer projects. So I think those are some to name.
Thank you. I'm going to translate it because it's more value information.
It's long. Okay.
Si se me va algo, Val, me ayudas porque fue mucha información. Lo que nos comenta es que ella siempre está testeando wallets y siempre está viendo cómo se están integrando los swaps y todo. Y que uno de los gran wins es que sí MetaMask está implementando la API de 0x, el protocolo de 0x en sus swaps. También nos comenta de Matcha, que es uno de sus agregadores de liquidez, o sea, es un partner que está optimizando mucho la herramienta, o sea, bueno, que están utilizando los mejores, o sea, tú vas a poder ver en vivo toda la comparación de precios de un token en diferentes agregadores de liquidez, llámese Uniswap, llámese Matcha, etcétera, y los vas a poder tener, y 0x te abstrae eso y te da el mejor. También uno de los casos de éxito es que apenas nos comenta que hace unas semanas el ISA, el agente de inteligencia artificial, ya tiene una implementación para que también tú desde un agente puedas hacer los swaps con el mejor ¿cómo se dice? Slippage, ¿cómo se dice eso? Pues con la menor discrepancia, ¿no? Entre precios. Y que también hay otro, ese no lo entendí muy bien, si es Bancor, Agent, algo así. Entonces ellos que apenas está también viendo este boom de inteligencia artificial más DeFi, y que se está integrando a 0x como punta de lanza en obtención de mejores precios, en obtención de mejores agregadores de liquidez, y nos cuenta otras historias que tal vez se me perdieron. No sé si quieras completar algo, Val.
Sí, 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 pues a mí la que más me impresiona es lo que dice de MetaMask y de las wallets. O sea que ellos son los proveedores de swaps de todas las wallets importantes, güey. Eso yo no lo sabía y está impresionante. Chido.
Sí, yo tampoco lo sabía.
Cool, la neta. Jessica, I have a personal question for you. Is it hard to use your API? Like, what type of language? I would describe myself as a junior developer, right? Like, I know how to build some things, but I'm still not in the, in the big leagues. Is it hard? Like, what's the process to use your API or integrate it into my Next.js template?
That's good question. So, I mean, we try to make it as easy as possible. Most of the projects building with us are using TypeScript. Occasionally there are people building with Python. So we offer examples, so straight out of the box examples of how to use it using, say, TypeScript if you're looking to put into your Next.js project. So I'd say go through our guide. So it kind of walks you through, essentially it's 4 big steps of how to use the API. So like if you can make a call to the API, give it certain parameters. We were talking about approvals. So there's some examples as well, code snippets there about how to set an approval on tokens. And that's just saying like the user, I'm approving this contract to move my tokens for me. And so that's just a basic thing that all token interactions will need. And then getting the quote, so getting that price, and then so that's just pinging the API and then submitting that transaction, which uses a library called Vim. So a lot of these steps have been made much easier using existing libraries. So I'd say take a look at this library called Vim, VIEM, and it will, it essentially is like one call and you can like submit a transaction. So you just take what you get from the API, put it into that, and then you're done. So it should be pretty straightforward, and we've put together resources to make it hopefully like walk through step by step very easy.
Wow, it sounds, I mean, maybe my chat GPT would understand the documentation and would
actually that's probably even easier. So we've set it up as well.
I want to share my experience. It's too quick. I think we are going to make a workshop for Latent community in Frutero TV. We have a 20 minutes workshop. We are preparing it in the last week from the last 2 weeks, and we are now editing, but it's ready, and we are going to announce it and put it on the Frutero TV channel on YouTube for the developers that want to integrate it. And I think it's too easy, it's too seamless, when you are interacting with it, you can put your fee that you want to get in your wallet directly on your TypeScript code on your Next.js app. And next, put the next you just need to make 2 routes to the API, price and quote, and make a component, a front end component on TypeScript, and put it on your page tickets, and it's ready. I think it's one of the best tools. And this is why the next question that the advice for the okay, can you?
No, wait. Hay que traducir.
Okay, yes.
Let's translate.
Lo que estoy diciendo, Jessica, es que estamos a punto de sacar, de hecho, en Frutero un tutorial de 20 minutos integrando la API de 0x. Es súper simple porque nada más lo que tienes que hacer es poner las direcciones de los tokens en los que quieres swapear. Nada más debes de poner el fee que quieres cobrar por swap, la wallet a la que quieres que te caiga tus comisiones. Esto todo ya va a ir en tu aplicación de Next.js. Los siguientes son 2 rutas a tu API, una que obtienes el precio y otra ejecutando el swap, que es que esto lo obtienes llamando a tu variable de ambiente que obtienes en tu dashboard de 0x. Y por último, solo tienes que crear un hook para que no tengas que estarle continuamente picando a get price o a obtener precio de la blockchain. Y ya una vez que tienes este hook, simplemente haces un componente en TypeScript para tu aplicación en Next.js y lo integras en tu frontend, en tu page o en tu layout donde tú estés trabajando. Y con estos pasos, ustedes van a poder tener ya el mejor agregador, el mejor precio del mercado con los mejores agregadores de liquidez directamente de la API de 0x, y por cada swap que se ejecute en su aplicación va a ir directo a la bolsa del developer o del proyecto esta comisión. Entonces, esto es lo que le estaba compartiendo a Jessica, que estamos a punto de sacar este workshop y mi experiencia que es súper fácil.
Sí,
Y bueno, ¿vale?
justo yo le pregunté que si era difícil y me dijo, no, güey, hay 4 pasos, todo está en la documentación, con además ejemplos de código para que ya lo integres en tu proyecto, ¿no? Y yo le dije, bueno, y mi ChatGPT le va a entender, y me dijo, sí, eso va a ser más fácil todavía, ¿no? Entonces, y bueno, ahorita ya Scarf nos explicó el proceso. Hay una pregunta de Sergio Aguilar. We have a question from Sergio. And I will amplify his question. He asked if it works in every EVM network. And I would say it works in other networks like Solana or, Polkadot or other like multi-chain, or only EVM or only Base or...
Yeah, great question. So I think as of right now, it might be, I think around 17 of the major chains. So I'd say, yeah, check the documentation. There's a list there. Yeah, essentially, like if there is liquidity there and there's like activity, like it's likely that we have deployed there on the EVM side. In terms of outside of EVM, so yeah, right now we're actively building our SVM and cross-chain products. So for teams who are interested in those, I'd say reach out. Actually, I just posted on our changelog today if you want to reach out. So how to contact us for those products. But we're expanding as the space continues to expand. It's definitely like making sure where we are right now, those chains are maintained. The routing there is smooth, but we're continuing to grow as well.
Cool. Le pregunté la pregunta de Sergio de si funciona en toda red EVM y la amplifiqué de funciona en Solana, funciona en Polkadot. Me dice que en su documentación hay una lista de las redes en las que funciona, pero la condición es que esa red tenga mantenimiento, tenga liquidez, tenga actividad, y que ellos constantemente están buscando la manera de hacer productos cross-chain de diferentes redes, o que pueden hacer intercambio entre redes, para ir agregando nuevas redes, y, o sea, tienen en la mira que se pueda construir en diferentes redes, no solo en EVM, pero EVM soporta EVM. Incluso ya aquí, ahorita, Anthony, si nos ayudas a poner aquí abajo el link, nos acaba de pasar Jessica como la página en donde dice cuáles son las redes que soporta. Scarf, ¿listo para terminar? Nos echamos ya la última pregunta.
Sí.
Querido público, también si tienen preguntas es ya. Estamos a punto de cerrar. Le vamos a hacer la última pregunta en inglés, la traducimos a español y nos vamos a despedir. Entonces, si tienen unas preguntitas así que digan, güey, a mí me gustaría saber esto ahora, ahora manden la pregunta para que se la preguntemos antes de irnos, ¿no? Cool. Jessica, I'm saying to the audience that if they have any questions, this is the time, this is the moment, because we're about to close. And Scarf, do you want to make the last question?
Okay, thank you. Okay, I'm going to...
There's someone said...
Oh, nice. They took your offer.
Okay. here's the last question for the team. Okay, what advice
No, pero
would
pues
you give?
lee
La
la de Mel
del...
y ya ahorita
Ah,
terminamos la última.
okay.
First,
The
the
audience,
audience question.
the audience
Okay.
question is, what excites you about the builder outlook? What should builders look forward to in the ecosystem?
Ooh, that's a good question. What excites me the most? I think it's like really exciting to see what we talked about. So I joined the space. I joined like Web3 around 2017. So that was almost 8 years ago. And like seeing the growth of like usage, like just a verifiability, just adoption. Like I feel like we are just still at the beginning, even though it feels like when you're in the space, it feels like, oh, so much is going on. Like so many institutions are adopting it now. Like it feels more mainstream, but like really, it really just feels still like so early. But it's exciting to see like, oh, we've made so much progress already. And so I think, yeah, for builders who are currently in the space or like new builders coming in, I think the field is just so green still. Like there's so much opportunity, and like there's so much foundation that has been laid down that there's the tooling that's there that's like so much easier than like 10 years ago. And I think there's more specialization, and so like if you are interested in different parts of the stack and different ecosystems, I think there's like so many different segments for builders to really find their niche in. And so yeah, I think that's really exciting for me, and like getting to talk with builders, building all sorts of different projects at different levels of the stack, and like they're excited about it, and like that makes me in turn excited to like see the space continue to grow.
Okay, well, I'm going to
Awesome.
translate it. Awesome, thank you. Good question from Angel Melendez, el buen founder. Mel, big shout out. Ella nos comenta, o bueno, lo que, ahorita si falta algo me dices, Mel, perdón, Val. Ella nos comenta que vimos cómo esto nació, esto estaba en el 2017, como que había pocas áreas y cómo ha ido evolucionando el ecosistema, que ahora lo que a ella le emociona más sobre el ecosistema es que ya ve muchas áreas, ve muchas áreas de especialización, y que esto hace que ella se sienta emocionada por ver y hablar con developers, con desarrolladores que están mero en el hoyo del asunto, y que ahora hay muchísimas áreas de interés para muchísimos desarrolladores. Esto hace que pues se vuelva, pues no sé, yo como mis sensaciones de justo, se está volviendo una máquina de donde todos tienen donde ejecutar creatividad, donde hay muchas cosas por hacer, y esto es una de las cosas que ella menciona que se siente muy, muy entusiasmada por lo que está construyéndose, y cada que habla con un developer que está ejecutando en diferentes capas del proyecto, ella se siente como motivada de escuchar lo que están haciendo. No sé si quieras complementar algo, Val.
Pues cierro y me sumo a esa idea que comparte Jessica de lo que le emociona es ver cómo el ecosistema va creciendo, ¿no? Que justo dice, yo estoy en el espacio cripto desde 2017, pero hoy ya hay muchas áreas de nicho, ¿no? Y ya, ¿qué es lo que acabas de decir? Pero me sumo, ¿no? A esta reflexión de, es muy emocionante ver cómo el ecosistema va creciendo y cada vez se va especializando más y se va hiper enfocando en solucionar cosas muy específicas. Y I share with you that thought about the excitement of the ecosystem growing and hyper specializating.
Nice.
A word that's
I was like, I figured that from the the hand motion.
Uh-huh.
I wish I spoke more Spanish.
How do you say hyper?
Hyper
How do you say that?
specialization. You're right. Yeah, specialization.
Specialization. Okay.
Culpa al que lo diga bien.
Infrastructure.
¿Quieres hacer la última pregunta, Val?
Pues,
Cerramos. ¿Cómo ves?
Sí. Our last question is, what advice or message would you like to give to the builders? That's it. That's the question. what do you want to share with our audience? Our audience is mostly builders from Latin America. What advice would you like to give to them in order to grow in the space, or life advice, or whatever?
Oh man. I think what pops to mind immediately, I think especially like talking to builders a lot. And I think so I'll take it from like what we talk about internally at ZRX. I think it's about like building things of enduring value. So I think there's like a lot of opportunities out there. Like I think especially like in a space that maybe like a year or two ago was like less regulated, so maybe like there was all sorts of crazy things going on. But I think my advice for people is like build things that, I think, goes back to the earlier question, like build things that like have immediate impact with your community, and have enduring value. I think that will be the most rewarding and have the most sustainability. And so like if you can figure out how to put those things together, I think you'll like have a lot of fun with it, and also have a lot of like traction, but also like your project will have continuous growth. So I'd say those are my last words for people.
Silence.
Okay.
Let me translate. Thank you for that advice. I love it. Specifically,
Nice.
I'm a lot into building solutions for impact, social and environmental. So I'm like,
Yay. We're in line with that. Nice.
yeah. Traducción, el consejo que dice es construyan cosas que solucionen cosas, ¿no? Que observen problemas de su comunidad y construyan cosas que solucionen esos problemas, o cosas para ustedes, para su comunidad, porque eso es más rewarding, eso es más, da más recompensas, te hace sentir mejor, y construyan cosas que duren, o sea, buscando no construir cosas superficiales, no cosas así nomás por hacerlo, sino cosas que duren, que sean sólidas, que tengan fundamento, que busquen solucionar problemas. Y ese es el consejo que Jessica nos da para la querida audiencia frutal. Yeah. Scarf, palabras finales.
Jessica, it's a pleasure to have you here. It's your house when you want to share something. If you want to someone that test your new products, we are the community. We are Latin Americans, and we love your products. We love your attention, and I'm glad to be here. Also, the Frutero teams are grateful for this. And if you want to share something, and that's all, we are going to say goodbye to the audience. And if you want to say some words.
Yeah, thank you so much. This was again, big love as well to the Frutero community. It's been such very how to describe it? Very like a great personal and working relationship with your team, and like I love what you guys are doing. Like, again, we were talking about earlier in before the recording, like a small team, but like helping so much of LATAM. So yeah, kudos to you all, and yeah, thank you to the audience as well for your questions. Thanks for asking the questions, and hopefully you'll get to play around with the API. And if you have questions, do let me know. But hopefully you guys just keep building. Do share as well. If whatever you're building, like I just love seeing people build. Like that's just like that's what makes me happy. So that's why I'm in DevRel.
Thank you. I'm going to translate it, and that's it.
Okay.
Ella nos dice que ella le encanta ver a la gente construir, y eso es lo que Frutero hace. Entonces, que ella es encantada de que construyan con la API, encantada de que le digamos cómo si nos trabamos, o que estemos en continuo contacto con ellos. Encantada de ver cosas construyéndose en Latinoamérica. Le gustó mucho la relación que tiene con Frutero. Perdón, muchas gracias a la audiencia que hizo las preguntas, unas preguntas muy enriquecedoras. Gracias a la audiencia por estar preguntándole a Jessica y se siente muy agradecida de lo que se está construyendo y pues de lo que está haciendo Latinoamérica y de lo que se está construyendo en Frutero. No sé si quieras agregar algo más, ¿vale?
No, Jessica, thank you for your time, for sharing with us, for the openness of working together. We're definitely going to keep building with 0x and hopefully with you. Like, let's keep the relationship.
Yes.
And thank you, Scarf. Gracias, gracias también porque el genio, la mente maestra detrás de esta llamada es nuestro querido Scarf. Él fue el que estuvo organizando todo, él fue el que dijo, yo quiero entrevistarla porque me encanta su producto. Y aquí estamos, ¿no? Scarf, chido, rifado. Es una gran... Mira, me salió una manita ahí. Bueno, gracias a la audiencia por estar conectados, por el apoyo, por el cariño, por los GMs del inicio que no contestamos, pero saluditos, banda, a Edgar, a Suri, a Brian, que mandaron GMs desde temprano. Un agradecimiento a Anthony, que está aquí atrás en los controles, también ayudándonos a que esto se vea cool y que salgan las frutitas bailando al final. Todo eso es Anthony acá moviendo la maquinaria frutal.
Frutichambeando.
Y pues nada, pues nos frutichambeando. Nos vemos en la próxima edición de Frutero, que va a ser ahora, con nuestro querido Mel y Jazz, que van a dar un de idea pitch en el marco del Frutero Jam. Amable recordatorio, si no se ha inscrito al Frutero Jam, sabe usted que hay 6 hackatones en línea en este momento y ya conoció a Jessica de 0x, por lo tanto, parte de los tracks, la mayoría de los tracks tienen DeFi, entonces aproveche, ¿no? Aquí está la super oportunidad. Inscríbase al Frutero Jam, mentorías, clases y acompañamiento para que los proyectos que construyan se lancen y la rompan, la frutirrompan, como diría nuestro M y nuestro Scarf.
Y buen Emma, buen Emma.
Saluditos también a Lema, que anda también aquí contestando mensajes desde Frutero TV. Chido.
Pues nada.
Pues gracias. Thank you, Jessica.
All right.
Thank you.
Be in touch.
Thank you. Thanks for hosting.
Hasta la próxima.
Bye, bye.
Bye.